Today is November 6th. We are now 2 days away from the release of Legacy of the Void, and this is puCK Week. Starting in the top right, as our purple Protoss player, we have our benefactor, the giver of replays, puCK. AKA Solus, of course. And with a GLHF, the red Zerg. Whew! It's LiquidSnute! LiquidSnute! Gotta say, guys, I am a huge fan of Team Liquid. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but I usually have a Team Liquid poster behind me in most of my videos. Not in this one, as I did my laundry, and it usually sits right on top of the laundry basket. But, yeah. Gonna be a PVZ between puCK and LiquidSnute. We see a hatchery down already for our Zerg player. Probably, you know, this has been what my experience so far between, I saw Solar and Life both play so far this week, and they have both opened 2 hatch before pool. So I would not be surprised to see that second hatch go down. There's already, I just saw clicks. I just saw clicks. The Nexus, but just so you guys know, Nexus first here for puCK. Knowing the meta right now, the meta is to go greedy. There's our second hatchery. Gonna see a spawning pool thrown down as soon as he gets the minerals. Already at 120. Man, I love me some Team Liquid. Team Liquid is the shiznit. Gateway on the way for puCK. Would love to see puCK do his... Kind of throughout the week, we've seen him do a ton of Warp Prism type play. Lots of harass, lots of micro, really epic stuff. Uses disruptors and adepts to scout and to do free damage. Probe heads into the natural. Gonna see everything. I don't think it's gonna go scout that third base. We have not actually seen any gases yet for puCK. No, excuse me. And say, oh, that was a really nice round. LiquidSnute with the micro power. No gases yet for LiquidSnute. Starts his queens, and you know, with the lack of gas, it would not surprise me to see 4 or 5 queens pop out. Because you have to think about, like, why is he getting the extra minerals? Why not get the gases sooner? 2 minutes and 40 seconds, no gas for our Zerg player. Third base started around 2 minutes and 40 freaking seconds for the Protoss player. 3 bases is kind of like the key to the power of Protoss. Once you have 3 bases, you can kind of make whatever ball you need for at least a big old push. Gas is now down, 2 minute and 60 second mark, a little bit earlier, but a rough timing if you just want to remember good times. You know, you want to remember 2 minutes and 58 seconds exactly. Around 3 minutes, yeah, no, it was 2 minutes and 260 were LiquidSnute's gas timings. I might have just confused you because I have a small stutter that comes out when I get ahead of myself. Not fun. Next is at the third base, nearing completion. The Overlord has absolutely scouted that, so LiquidSnute is aware of the greed. And he's probably pretty comfortable thinking, you know, I'm not going to be attacked anytime soon. So if you can see in the bottom, in the production tab, he is just droning and droning and droning and droning. Creep Tumor here is getting focused down by this adept, down to just 1 hit point, and it looks like it's gonna live. It disappears into the creep, into the grape jam. And here comes the adept. Really nice moves. This is one of the things I was talking about a little bit ago. puCK uses these adepts so smart. He sits on the edge of your base, and he sends in the psionic transfer, and he cancels it. But he gets a free look at however far he can get into your base before that time limit runs out. Really smart use of that ability. Make sure that you add that into your gameplay. A full wall off at the front of puCK's base. He takes no chances. He says, I have multiple other routes out of my base on 3 bases. I can use warp prisms, I can use air, I can knock down one of the 2 piles of rocks outside my base. Ling's now taking little picks at those gateways, not going to risk their lives. They head home. And it looks like the creep spread for LiquidSnute will get going. He's got all 3 bases, I think, fully saturated. Yeah, fully saturated bases all the way around the map. Everybody's got the workers they want. Everybody's got the workers they need. Everybody's partying for the weekend. I think everybody's working for everybody's working for the weekend. Yeah, there we go. It's a stupid song, but it's fucking hilarious. It's gotta be that. Creep spread is real. He's getting it going. He's trying to make it to halfway across the map before 10 minutes, and I'm telling you, he'll probably make it there in the next 2 to 3 minutes. So, guys, I'm telling you, get that creep spread going. The extra queen can make a huge difference. Never mind catching things on their way across the map like probes, so you can stop them and kill them before they get anywhere. But just having the creep spread constantly moving out, constantly adding more Tumas. I mean, he even has his 4th queen for his 4th base already made. So nice moves so far from LiquidSnute. He's got 3 roaches and roach speed on the way, +1 weapons and Ravengers all in production. Ravengers now knocking down those back rocks, making their way out the back of the base. No creep spread back here. Nice corrosive bile drops here. The Spire is also in production, which is really interesting to me. I wonder if it's for Corruptors, specifically against like possible Colossus, which is an option here, as the Robotics Facility and Bay are both choices that puCK has made. In past games, we've seen for puCK go for Disruptors over Colossus. I actually have not seen one Colossus all day today, and I have cast 5 games, or is it 4 games of puCK? Corrupted Bile, all missing, not landing on anything. I think, actually, I lied. One Stalker just dies, gets wrecked by the last Corrosive Bile. They're now on their way up. The Corrosive Bile used preemptively by Snute. Snute not being afraid to drop it where he thinks they're gonna be. Ling's now rushing in. Ravagers from the back, pushing down the Stalkers. Really nice blinks from puCK. puCK now kiting. Blinks are definitely going to be necessary again. There they are. Corrosive Bile on the War Prison, but it gets moved in the last second. And for those of you who didn't watch Heart of the Swarm or Wings of Liberty, this is so different. Like the Ravager didn't exist until Legacy of the Void. So seeing a Stalker versus Corrosive Bile Ravager army is awesome. It's new, it's fresh, it's hip even. It's hip even. Stalker's now moving towards the back of the Protoss base. They're going to knock in the rocks, giving his units a nice exit out. They no longer need to blink to leave the base. Knocking down the rocks. 4th base is now established. He is getting his gases saturated first. Something to note for most players, when you get your 3rd base, rather your 4th base, usually at that point you're not starving for minerals as much as gas, so go ahead and get that gas started probably first. Creep is being cleaned up. Really nice movement by puCK. He's all over the map. Up against a second Foreign Hope. It's like puCK versus LiquidSnute. Battle of Foreign Hopes. Seen tons and tons of blink play today from puCK. puCK absolutely dedicated to blink stalkers here in Legacy of the Void. Not as much. I haven't seen a single DT. I haven't seen any Void Raids or Carriers. He's using mostly Stalkers and Disruptors and Adepts. Warp Prisms are in every match so far today. 1 Disruptor knocking down 4 Ravengers in 1 hit. Really nice use of that Warp Prism to drop the Disruptor. Disruptor getting the hell in there, knocking down a bunch. The blink out of the surround is really nice. Another Disruptor sends down one of its bombs. I didn't know what to call that thing. I should have looked that up before the match. I see it a lot, and I still just call it Disruptor Bombs. Disruptor Bomb! Lots of Ravengers, like more Ravengers than I've ever seen before, are on this map. Ling Ravager is the decision that he has made here. We have not seen any air units. Ling's full surround on oh my god. Full surround on the Stalkers. The Ravager is just endlessly dropping Corrosive Biles. And I was going to say, Women's Association all the way up here. No Stalkers have really died to Corrosive Biles, though. He's doing a great job pulling back. Disruptor takes down a large number of Ravengers. The Lings are gone. He blinks on top of the Ravengers saying, no, I'm done. I'm done running from you. I can fight this. All the Ravengers go down. Super expensive trade. LiquidSnute not doing, I mean, he does damage, but he doesn't do any kind of critical damage to that army. puCK's army stays well intact and alive and is now headed across the map for a counterattack. Lings on the map to help defend. But something for Zerg players to note is that when it comes to armor, Ravengers are much smaller, considerably miniature in comparison to roaches. Ravengers now still in production. He's making quite a few more. He blinks on top of one, knocks it down immediately, takes out an Overlord. Mutas are now on the map, so the choice now is Ravager, Ling, Muta. Blink Micro from puCK, absolutely outstanding. I need to get water. The blink on top of the Ravengers like we just saw a minute ago. Muta Ravager versus Stalkers. Drones pulled off the line. The Corrosive Biles drop. They kill a few Stalkers, but the majority of this army is still pushing forward. And we're seeing a 4-base Zerg versus a 4-base Protoss. And I gotta say, man, that is never a good thing when you're a Zerg. Stalkers are still imposing. He's trying to keep all of the attacks over at LiquidSnute's base. He doesn't want to be defending at his base. He wants to put you on the defense. He wants to keep the other player constantly worried about attacking at their bases, losing economy, unable to drop a 5th base if possible. A small army of mutas swinging around, gonna get really awesome pickups on these disruptors. It tries to hide by the cannons, but is unable to. The battle between the Ravagers and the Lings and the Stalkers is gonna end the same way most of the events so far. Oh my god! A ton of Corrosive Biles able to land on top of the Stalkers. Shields are mostly gone off of the Stalkers now. Any damage taken will be HP damage. But look how many more Stalkers are just coming in. More and more Stalkers entering the fray. Blinking back the damaged Stalkers, sharing damage amongst his units. The Warp Prism taken out by Corrosive Bile. LiquidSnute hanging on by a thread-ish. I mean, like, he still has a big army, but the supply is now favoring puCK. 164 to 131, 6 mutas in production, 8 more about to pop out. And it looks like he's trying to transition away from the Ravagers. Now puCK is pushing up into the natural base. Mutas and Lings and Ravagers all gathering up. The Disruptor comes out. No hits. Corrosive Bile also misses. And that has been the story of the night. Corrosive Bile doing a lot of zoning, pushing the Stalkers back, forcing them to be unable to stand and fight and do their blink micro because Corrosive Bile's DPS is just simply too high to just blink against. Disruptors coming in and boom! Ravagers go down. Lings and Mutas running in. Ravagers in the back, not able to stay alive, and it looks like the massive number of Stalkers here against LiquidSnute is dealing heavy amounts of damage. The Mutas are getting a large number of Mutas. There's 21 Mutas currently on the map against the 35 Stalkers. I don't hate the Mutas position here, but I do think that they're still outnumbered in a way that they cannot defeat this many Stalkers. Especially with let's see. I mean, there's two plus 2 upgrades. There's really not very heavy upgrades on our Stalkers. That might be the death of puCK here. puCK does not have the upgrades to stand against the Ling Muta. Ravagers are being removed, transitioned out of by our Zerg player. He's deciding that they're not doing enough damage. The Disruptor used to scout the top of the ramp to see what was up there, possibly kill a few things. No such luck. The natural will be sacrificed. No reason to keep it. There's really not that many minerals left. It's a bad area to be attacking down into. But here come the Mutas. Up the ramp. You can just see there's just so many Stalkers in a great concave. Tons of shield damage done, but very few stalkers themselves going down. 4 more mutas about to pop out. My throat's so dry. 32 to 42 is our main unit count. That's mutas and stalkers. The stalker count is over freaking whelming. A blink forward is going to take out a muta. A nice use of blink micro there from puCK, taking out little tiny bits, chunks even, out of LiquidSnute. LiquidSnute unable to take a 5th base thus far. puCK already has his 5th. He's warping in more units, more stalkers on the way. Muta's popping out and dying as they move, and he's just gonna go for what looks like the base trade. And actually, it's not a base trade. He's going for the cybernetics core. It's almost like that was the main goal. We do have a Dark Templar shrine that I didn't notice. I guess he never needed to use it. Was the main thing there, right? He just never needed it that badly. Stalker's doing damage over the what is now the natural, but was once the 3rd. Taking down the macro hatch and the hatchery at that base. Blinks forward, taking down overlords and taking down bases. The mutas being forced over to what looks like it's to constantly attack bases, doing as much damage as they can, but I mean, LiquidSnute is down to just a few hatcheries. He has a lair and he has a hatchery on the way. And that hatchery on the way is not finished yet. He's in a really rough position. LiquidSnute, or rather puCK, is still mining off of one base. Could be mining off of that base more heavily, but is not. Photon overcharge. No photon overcharge is happening. LiquidSnute not allowing that. Muta's doing tons of damage. Almost all the nexuses are gone. And we are now in we've been in a full base trade for a while. The Tastalope and our Toastalope, or whatever, are watching from the high ground. Good game. This was very entertaining. Good job. Because that's how they sound. They're classy and yet weird. That's my take. I love Tastosis, guys. Don't ever take that the wrong way. But the only reason I actually got into casting was those two. Love those guys. Muta's now ravaging everything. They are all over puCK's base, taking down absolutely everything. He makes a new base. He makes a new base in the south. And he sends, let's get this, I guess, 1 DT. 1 DT over to that new hatchery that LiquidSnute built and says, like, alright, well, I'll just kill this. And then I'm guessing, okay, so if I was a pro, and I didn't want to take any chances, I would have my stalkers sit on top of this base, and then I would just send the DT around. Because, like, why would let him engage your stuff when you could just, like, just send send out the DT to finish? What, is it just 1 extractor? It's 2 extractors. 1 is slowly bleeding out. The other one, not so much. Let's say he's got 3 extractors. This DT is going to start working on that extractor. He's got his, it's a scythe, but today it's a pickaxe. And he's just deconstructing that extractor with his psionic blade of doom. Muta's headed across over towards this base, and we're gonna see all the stalkers blink on top of the mutas. Ling's running in, Muta's getting eviscerated. That is the word I would use here, eviscerated. And 1 more big blink. And now the mutas do not number high enough to do enough damage. LiquidSnute says GG, and puCK takes down the Liquid Zerg. Increased the time from like 1:30. I don't even know. I think it was like, I don't know. I can't pull the exact seconds out of my head right now, but it increased to like, it takes like almost two full minutes to pop out a lurker then. With this new